Bobby roast beef. Here it is, Jigs and friggin' Bigs, man. Episode number 301. Here we are. We got a good show for you, too. Did I manage to piss off the entire nation of kayak anglers that are out there? We're going to talk about that a little bit. I had a little conversation with the one and only Adventure Titties, Rachel Mullins, and out of there came a little bit of... I guess shrapnel that could have gotten you, but we'll talk about that. Also, got some more details about the 300th episode party that's coming up. That's coming up in January. We're just coming up on about like 6 weeks away from it, about in that window, and it's getting close. And the planning has kicked into high gear. We also have a few things to talk about. Joe did a really big show on WhatsApp, and he sold off a bunch of baits, including a ton of JDM stuff. And we got so much good stuff to talk about. It is getting cold, and if you're up north and you've got ice, this is the Just the Tip segment for you. We're going to talk ice fishing, how to get started, what to look for, some tips on being safe, all that good stuff. You guys don't want to miss out. We got such a good show, and of course, we got a live well question for you. Don't go too far. We got more Jigs and Bigs coming up right after this. You know, here it is. It's Sunday morning. It is. It's a brutal Sunday morning. I'm coming off of two private functions, big events. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But man, Joe, how are you this morning? How this Sunday morning? Snowy Sunday morning.
This snowy Sunday morning.
Yeah,
you know,
get up in the morning, have a little s'mores muscle milk, little get that protein kicked up.
There you go.
You know, there you go. And it just feels so seasonal. You know, it really does.
Yep.
I was looking at the weather this week, dude, and it looks like I want to say it's like Wednesday or maybe Thursday. I want to say it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Like Friday gets up to the mid-50s, but it's
really
yeah. And then it drops down to 16 that night.
What the fuck?
Yeah, definitely nothing wrong with the planet. Definitely nothing wrong with the planet. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. It's like the kitchen's burning all around us. So I got, dude, I'm so torn because there's a couple of things. Big one. Remember last week, it was just last week, I said, hey, we got to get creative about how we're going to record while I'm away for the holidays, you know, because we had to figure all this out. Well, we're not going anywhere for the holidays. Change of plans.
That's a little new development.
It is a new development. Not stoked about it. It kind of sucks, but we decided we would just roll that money, you know, have a smaller Christmas at home and then kind of roll that money into a future trip. So we're like, yeah, you know, it sounds like a great idea, which fucking sucks because I got those dogs Bordetella shots and I got a Mortadella shot. Because it's what I do. Yeah, I was like, fuck. We got all this shit done for nothing. I'm like, oh, God. So we're going to be here. So recording is going to be really easy. The nice thing is that now I'm, instead of losing out on 7 or 8 residency trivia events, now I'm going to miss 3. So there's 5 other ones that I can keep in there, which is nice because that puts a little bit more money aside for, you know, restocking and show season and all that. Don't think that there aren't ulterior motives already up here, you know?
Sure.
But I am heavily considering getting out to the Cape now on that week of Christmas. Because especially going into that weekend, like I think I'm going to take that Friday off, and I might send it a little bit earlier and see what we can come up with. So it's possible I will be taking off. Although I don't know, I got to tell you, I'm a little bit shocked at the amount of ice that we have here, and it has me thinking that I might be a 3-hour drive for no good reason.
Yeah,
I might have to reach out. So actually, if you're in Cape Cod, often enough, or you live in Cape Cod, you're listening to Jigs and Bigs, fire me a DM and let me know what like conditions are on some areas specifically. And if you want me to give you like specific bodies of water, I would probably be targeting. I can do that too, but yeah, it's just like, man,
there's like 5 or 6 inches here, dude.
Well, it's funny, man. There's I'm hearing mixed reports. I'm hearing from some people that are just yeah, it's really sketchy. People are saying 6 inches or more, and I'm getting out there and I'm seeing maybe 2 to 3, and it's it's not exactly as great. But other people are swearing, on their mother's grave that everything is great, and that we're good to go. We'll talk about some of that stuff. John Carter chimes in here. He goes, yeah, 5 inches in Central Mass on one pond, one checked yesterday. And, that's the other thing, too. The depth, the specific ponds, that shit's going to vary as well.
Sure, absolutely.
But there were spots, where was I coming back from? Was it? It was just the other day. I was going over the bridge and I was looking at the river, and there is a good amount of ice formation on the moving water. I'm like, God damn it. So that to me, when I see that, makes me think okay, so we might be dealing with some shit. Who knows? I don't want to complain too much about ice coverage because we are talking ice fishing in just the tip, but you guys know, it's going to take a lot to motivate. It took a lot for me to go and actually do the research on this, because some of this I had to do research for, because I'm I don't fucking know, So I'm giving you my opinion and my efforts. Joe, how was your week, dude? Actually, you know what? My week was ridiculous and super boring. Let me go through my week, and then we'll go through yours, and we'll talk WhatsApp and all that good stuff.
Whatnot.
Whatnot, not WhatsApp. That's a different thing. That's a different thing. Whatnot. So my week, this week was filled with a ton of work. I dropped a video that on the YouTube channel where I had Rachel Mullins, Adventure Titties, back in the beef seat. And it was a great conversation. I love talking with Rachel. We did talk about some stuff that was very, very much I was amazed. She was involved, I guess, had to appear in for the Ron Jeremy trial, which I did not realize that there was involvement there at all. She had to basically, I think, give some testimony about a roommate that she had that was going away for some really fucking disgusting shit. But we talked, we went all over the place. And then she asked me this question, and she goes, what is the one thing that you think's overhyped? And or people are just they're faking that they like it. It's just, they couldn't possibly really like it. And I joked that I wanted to make it about forward facing sonar. I did, just to kind of poke the bear a little bit. But I was in reality, I don't know enough about it. And I threw out an answer, and I did this specifically. And I think I did a pretty good job of clarifying my position on it. But I said kayak fishing. Kayak fishing, it's just and the reason why I say that, and I followed it immediately by saying, I do love to fish from my kayak. I do. I think it's a great form of getting out there. And I think if there is a flex there, it's to have multiple options to get on the water, to do the different things that you want to do,
Right.
It just makes sense that way. My thing was more of there's folks out there where, kayak fishing, it kind of becomes a cult, and it's there's more to it. You know what I mean? There's it's great that you primarily fish from a kayak, or I get that some folks that's just their thing, but I got some folks that I think were playfully I'm hurt, or shots fired or something like that. I got a lot more support than I realized. And I don't think that these were primarily the folks that I knew that were the likes and stuff like that. I don't think these were necessarily boat owners necessarily. I could say the same thing about bass fishing,
Sure.
Putting yourself that's generally my rule of thumb. Putting yourself in a single box full time and ignoring everything else around you is never a good idea. You miss out on such amazing opportunity and some good stuff. So there's that went down. It was pretty good. I mean, the feedback was actually really fun and unbelievable. I did also record another Back in the Beef Seat segment with John Hagens, and that is going to drop this week coming. So that should be pretty good. That one is one where, so the way I record this stuff is I record like we are right here, but the audio, and I apologize because the jig heads here, they get this, but the jig heads, they get the shittiest audio, and I record all the audio locally. So I actually have to splice this together. It's going to take a little bit of work. to put all this together and make it happen. But we're making things happen. And then I had a bunch of work this week. I had 2 large events this weekend. I had a big event on Friday. I did an event for ISO New England, their holiday party. This was a 300-person game show. It was massive, dude. Massive. This was that event where I went out and I bought that second live screen. And dude, I had everything running. So the challenge with doing the game that I do, when you have that many devices, like there's a router that I use to connect the local area network, and folks connect to that to play the game with the app on their phone. And the problem is when you get that many devices in there, there's a little like confusion factor, where it's just so much additional data, and how will it, how much can these routers handle? We ended up with 38 teams, I think, in total. And this is at the Sheraton Springfield. So there's Wi-Fi everywhere. Yeah. This router, I could have 100% gotten away with using an additional router to make another mesh point. But I used a single router. It worked flawlessly. Connected all those devices with no apparent dropouts, handled the picture questions with no problem. I did a buzz-in round. Did not think I was going to do that. Wasn't preparing for it, but we had that all happening. Things were good. I had 2 live screens going, one of them running wirelessly. So I had wireless service running over to that other live screen in a remote spot so that there was, people could see it in this one pocket of the room. And that didn't interfere with anything. And then I had audio running wirelessly on a separate frequency entirely to a satellite speaker in the back. I do have some stuff that I need to add to this system to make it a little bit larger, but I think I figured out my plan after doing an event of this size and seeing what I need to do and how attainable it is to build the system out. I think I'm going to put a little bit more effort in the coming years to more corporate stuff, events like this, and less in the bars and restaurants, because the bars and restaurants are fantastic. But I've hit a point now. This actually happened this week too. You remember how I picked up that second Thursday night, Joe?
Yeah.
Dropped it.
Oh,
yeah, dropped it. I got there. This is the 3rd week I was there, and it's just the challenge of having this launch this time of year, but also being that late in the evening is just it's just not realistic. And I actually feel bad taking their money. I will. You know what I mean? But because I'm not here to work for free. But I got there and I was they had some kind of a vendor event or something, a shop and sip. So I got there and there were a bunch of people that had already 3 or 4 drinks in. And I'm so the politeness of I'll try this game. Most of the time, if they can give me that, they're going to be wowed and they're going to stick around and have a great time. It just was not there. So I was you know what? I'm going to break it all down. And I'm just going to hit the road. And I texted the manager. I was this isn't going to work out. And I was doing a Christmas, my official Christmas party there. I was holding it there to try to draw some of my regular audience out on that one specific night for a special game. And I'm I'm going to cancel it. I'm I am. I'm going to just use those rounds as I would, they're already in my library. I'm just going to cancel it. It's obviously not going to work out. So I'm going to wait and see what happens. Now I am considering, it would fuck up to Sundays, but they do a brunch and I'm I would love to do a brunch trivia. Cause again, that would take a day I'm already working, but it would 100% allow me to open up another afternoon, another evening. Right. It would absolutely. So I'm if we can make that work and it makes sense, we could do that. And then let it rip. So we're going to talk with them because it's a great venue. It's absolutely amazing. In fact, one of the managers that was over there brought me over he's like, Bobby, are you a cigar smoker? And I was I have about 10 to 15 sticks a year maximum. And I was so when I do smoke them, I like them to be of quality. I'm not running out for fucking backwoods or some shit that. Right. And he's all right, here. He gave me a stick and I forget the name of it, but it's David Ortiz's brand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was all right, cool, that's awesome. I guess they bought a bunch for the pro shop, and they're yeah, we're gonna have them there, have them available if people want them. And then he goes, the guy that sold them to us neglected to tell us that we needed a special license in order to sell tobacco products. So he's we can't fucking sell these. I was like, oh. So he's like, yeah, we're just doing them as like promos. I was like, oh, that's fair enough, man. Fair enough. That's how it is in business. So, so there's that. The Friday event went amazing. Load up to tear down. Everything was great. I will say it is fucked up that the Sheraton charges $48 to park for a day.
Holy crap.
Yeah, that was I was like, are you fucking... I was like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. But again, like, it's not like I'm not going to pay it. I was like, I probably could have made some waves to get it validated or something at the front desk. But I'm like, I'm here with the truck loaded up at the gate. Right. And it's automated. It's not like I can be like, bro, come on. So I was like, so I got taken for that. And I was like, all right, whatever. The next day I had a wedding. Now, weddings for me are like... I've been doing weddings for so long that as long as my work is done in advance, the prep work, the timeline, like all of that, having the songs all in order and everything, as long as that's all in order day of, it's actually really fun. Like, it's a great day. It's busy, but it's really fun. So this is one of those where the ceremony was a significant distance away from the reception site. And I was officiating the ceremony. It was 34 degrees with 12-mile-an-hour winds that were blowing right through the center of the gazebo where we were. The guest count for the reception was around 85 guests. And I think the guest count for the ceremony was like the 14 in the wedding party. And like it was probably 20 people total. It's probably 6 additional guests. But of course it was like the grandparents and stuff. And I was like, I'm going to speed read these. I'm like, we're just going to get through it. Everything went great over there, set up over, and this was over at the Villa Rose in Ludlow, which is like, that venue is where like a lot of the shit, like my high school graduation party, my Jack and Jill, all of my sister's shit, like my parents had anniversary parties and stuff there. We've always done stuff over there. So I knew exactly what we're getting into. It was great to see a bunch of the staff. It's been a little while. Honestly, I don't think I've done a wedding there since 2017. I think 2019 I did like a Sweet 16. Which I try not to take a lot of Sweet 16s because I just feel like I feel like I'm entertaining my kids. You know what I mean? Like it's weird, and I'm like, they don't. I'm too old for them to relate to. That's a younger DJ's game than Bobby Roast Beef. But although I will tell you, if they are interested in doing like a game show, then that's the bread and butter. I think that's what we did that night. It was pretty good. But yeah, the wedding was absolutely amazing. And we're going to take a little bit of a tangent here, guys. And I know this isn't really necessarily fishing related, but I kind of want to talk a little bit about, I had a conversation with ChatGPT. Okay. And this was on my way over to the wedding reception site in order to set up. So what I had done was this discussion kind of went like this. I had this little chat with ChatGPT and we were talking about why Taylor Swift is such a big deal. Okay. And essentially the long short of it is that Taylor Swift is like super accessible, right? Great when it comes to telling stories that a certain slice of the demographic, and that's a large slice, it's not a small slice, a lot of people can relate to and they enjoy it. Ultimately, at the end of the day, like with Taylor Swift, there's, people that are just rabid fans. We're going to talk about those in a second. And then there are people who are just absolute haters. So with that said, it dawned on me that Taylor Swift
is the Nickelback for women, basically.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Like, undeniably, Nickelback is insanely commercially popular and accessible and relatable to everybody at some instance. But critically, they get trashed. You know what I mean? And there are critics that don't trash Taylor Swift. I get that. So there's a little bit of a difference there. I'll give them that because there's, there whatever. But like at the end of the day, like so if you're like married to a Swiftie, you're dating a Swiftie, maybe you're a Swiftie yourself, like and you're like, oh, I don't really get it's like a cult. Now I will say with that, like just know that might be their Nickelback. Look at this photograph. Now, I'm not saying that Nickelback is a good band. In fact, I am one of the haters, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I get it, you know? But, like, when you get so fucking commercially successful, you're obviously, like, it's just this phenomenon. You're just going to have that backlash. So I do want to tell this story because it does relate to this wedding. There was not one. So the bride is a wicked Swiftie, and she's a sweetheart. Taylor's wonder. Her name is Taylor as well, and she is absolutely great. She's been a longtime trivia player of my events for like over 10 years now. Like she's been following me for a long time and a huge supporter. And it was a great wedding. But I knew there was going to be a ton of Taylor Swift in this. In fact, she sent me a list of just the Taylor Swift songs that she wanted. And she was like, obviously, like, I don't want to drive people nuts, but I think I did 3 blocks of 3 Taylor Swift songs within the entire night, plus a couple other ones peppered in, like some during dinner music.
Yeah.
And there were 2 songs, 2 different bridesmaids that were on the dance floor going so hard that they nearly lost a boob out of their dress. I am not, and I'm talking about like, dude, I have been like in the late 90s, early 2000s on the floor for like Sick of It All and Hatebreed and fucking Shadows Fall. And I have seen only that similar energy. I'm talking about women like dressed to the nines,
sweating profusely,
just going off on the dance floor. It was crazy.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah, see, we love Taylor Swift. Okay, Jika. Javi, I get you, baby. Oh, hold on. This just in. Binya. He says he's booking his room for the 300th show today. He goes, if you guys haven't yet, places are filling up. So I do want to mention, Binya, I'm glad he mentioned this. He sent me a text while I was at the wedding last night. And he was like, hey, he goes, I heard on the podcast that you had mentioned some of the hotel options for lodging for the 300th show. He goes, I can't find them anywhere. Did you post them? And there's a couple of things. First off, I posted an Instagram reel, so the links are in there. The links are in podcast 299 as well. Yeah, there's a link there for it. And I also had updated the ticket information on brownpapertickets.com, where you go to get this. Go to jigsandbigs.com, click the link to get your tickets. All that's right there. But I put it also right in the main description. And apparently, like somewhere where I put the links earlier, like they come up somewhere in the sales process of like the itinerary or something. So I put it right on the main description section. So you can jump right on, get that information. There's like 5 or 6. I think there's 6. I think there's 6 different options from various tiers that you can check out. But if they're filling up fast, yeah, that's what you want to do. Javi says, not kidding, man. We have one T Swift song. We love one T. Oh, which one is it? I'm curious. Which one is it? I did play a remix of Anti-Hero. And in there's just this one little break, and I was able to squeak in each time, and it was awesome. It was awesome. It was like right before the drop, and I was like, oh. got a little bit of jigs and bigs there for him. But yeah, I mean, I got home last night, had a little bit of dinner, hung out with the dogs, put them to bed, and I slept like a champ. I've been enjoying lately these TreeWorks gummies, and they call them their hummies. The lines, these are live rosin, full spectrum, like really fantastic stuff. And I had myself a 10 milligram of one of their sleep ones, which is a combination of THC and CBD, CBA, and it's the perfect nightcap. I slept so freaking good. Oh, Fate of Ophelia. Yeah, that is the new mainstream banger. It is. And Opalite was one and Wood. That got a big reaction. I hate that I know the titles of these songs.
But I got paid a significant amount of money to know the titles of those songs.
And I will stand by that. And I don't know. They had a good time. He says alphabet gummies. Sure. Sure. We'll go with that. And then Zach with an odd flex. He goes, I don't even know one of her songs. I'll bet you do. Maybe one of the early ones when she was country, but I'll bet you do.
I have a 7-year-old girl. I know exactly her songs.
Yep, exactly. I have a buddy of mine who I used to be in a band with a long time ago, and I actually it's weird. His taste in music is like a lot of people think that I'm on the cutting edge of like knowing like what's gonna get like some buzz and everything. No. He's on another level, and like he and I will talk music all over and over and over. He says to me the other day, well, he's a fan of Taylor Swift. Like, I don't think he's going to concerts, dropping like $4,000 for tickets or some shit like that. I don't think he's doing anything like that ever. But like, he's got 2 daughters too, so like, obviously he's got the excuse to be like, oh, it's on my Spotify or whatever. Oh, weird, like he can play it off that way, but he doesn't. And
he drives a Subaru and is in fact vegan.
So it all tracks. It all tracks. Jared, I love you, buddy. I don't know if he actually fucking listens to this, but he's the guy that I got into fucking car camping. And he's like all the gear, like the deep sleep stuff and everything. I was like, dude, they make the deep sleep mattresses for Subarus. I was like, fucking check it out. He's like, this is the best thing I ever did. This is so fucking cool. We got to go and camp. I just want the challenge of making my favorite stuff vegan. I live for that shit. I got a Subaru nickname, SS Scissor. Oh, I do want to. So I do getting. This is the last thing I'm going to say about trivia. I promise, because this was a week. Last Monday night, okay. Hannah is the bartender over at the Boulevard Tavern where I am Monday nights at 7 p.m. And Hannah she's got a great sense of humor. She runs the Drinko portion of my game, that challenge, like to a brand new level. She created a beverage that I could only think of a name for that fit, and it was Smurfette's Armpit. It was the weirdest fucking drink. So anyway, like, she's such a good, and she's a very efficient bartender. Like, everybody be all taken care of. So she'll log her phone in and not play the full game, but like answer a question here or there. We get to the buzz-in round. And Joe, first off, Joe, do you know what an anagram is?
Yeah.
Okay, so for the listeners that don't know, an anagram is a word or a phrase where you can mix up the letters and make a totally different word or phrase. Okay? So what anagram, this was the question, what anagram of the word discover is something that until recently only straight married couples could do? Now, you don't have to answer. You don't have to answer at all. I'm going to tell you the story. And she buzzes in. And she says to me with the straightest of faces, she looks at me and she goes,
Scissor.
I was stopped dead in my tracks, and I'm like, okay. And I said, this is what an anagram is. I did that whole spiel. It was the first anagram question of the night. So I try to get everybody up to date, and everybody is looking at me with the same dumbfounded look, like, what is he going to do? So I go and I say to everybody, I was like, okay, guys, I'm going to 10 seconds. If you think that scissor is an anagram of
discover,
tap your screens. Nobody agrees. And it was like, as we got to like 8 seconds left, and it dawned on her, and she's like, oh. It was the funniest shit ever, dude. I've been telling that story to everybody. Oh, God. Oh. John Carter is chiming in. Wow. He says, best Swiftie song is Red. Everything else sucks. Maybe we should do more Taylor Swift content. I didn't realize
Dude,
that
it's
this
funny
was the fucking...
because, like Emma's a fan of Taylor Swift. Sure. And Canopy Lake Park. I don't know if you saw the TikToks or whatever. They have a person who's a basically an actress that looks just like Taylor Swift, and she goes up there and she performs.
Oh, okay.
So Emma thinks that's really Taylor Swift.
Oh, of course she does. That's awesome.
So I'm like, she's like, I want to go to a concert. I'm like, Meg, I'm just going to bring her up to Canopy Lake Park, and she's going to think that was fucking Taylor Swift her whole life. And it's funny because I saw a meme the other day. It was like this kid. He's like, until today, my entire life, I thought I met Stone Cold Steve Austin. And then he shows the picture, dude. It's like him with just like an actor of like Stone Cold Steve Austin. Didn't look anything like him.
That's fucking amazing.
So
like the Wish version of Stone Cold.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that might be Emma's first concert up at Canopy Lake Park. Her thinking she's going to see Taylor Swift.
Zach nailed it. He goes, God help you when she figures it out. Timu Taylor Swift.
Timu Taylor Swift.
And I will agree. Zach, he says, see, now I'm thinking of Scissor Sisters. Now I have to go listen to a few of their tunes today while building boxes. Highly underrated. There is a Pink Floyd cover that they do that's so good. It's very different, but it's so good. So that about sums up my week. I got a segment to record this week with Bailey Egbrett from Serious Angler. That should be a lot of fun. And I don't know, I think it's going to be just freaking awesome. What about you, Joe? You had a much more fishy week this week than I did.
Kind of. This week it was, I wasn't like out fishing or anything, unfortunately. I might actually hit the ice this upcoming Saturday, though. I got some plans with my buddy Dan, but yeah, dude, it was so I've had this really terrible habit the last few weeks of starting home projects like a couple days before I have plans to have people over.
Yeah, like Thanksgiving.
I did Thanksgiving with the countertops. Yep. And then I decided to do the backsplash the last couple days while I had Emma's birthday party yesterday at the house.
Oh, okay.
So I was on a time crunch with that.
Yep.
No clue, never done one before. It's like a legit stone, like had to mortar the wall, all that. And it was just like, fuck. You know what I mean?
So that makes sense why we're recording today and not Friday, because you were panic fucking laying stonework on Friday.
I was in absolute panic mode, and it was just fun. It was just funny. I had to call in my dad for help.
There's the birthday girl. There's the birthday girl right behind you.
There she is right there. Yeah. There's like chaos going on behind me right now.
Oh, I believe it.
Meg's so Ice is in heat right now, so we have to keep her and Draco separated.
Oh, yeah.
So she's trying to force Draco in here with me. But anyway, so I had to call my dad, and I did like the first half by myself. It was just going so slow, you know what I mean? Because I'm just like, I had no fucking clue what I'm doing, dude. And
definitely, man. And you don't want to fuck anything up, you know?
He comes in and I had to replace all the electrical outlets to black because they were like a beige. They were like a beige. Sorry guys, there's like chaos going on in the Brown household right now. So I was like, I don't like electrical, Bobby. I don't touch it. I was like, I'll get my old man to do it. He's like a contract, like he's a plumber. He's probably done all this stuff, dude. 10 minutes in, he's switching it off, and all of a sudden I see sparks flying. Him go, fuck, like shaking his hands.
I mean, it's not funny, but it's hilarious.
I don't know if you remember from back in the day, Home Improvement, when Tim Allen he had his shirt off and his tool belt. He's trying to do the electrical at home, and the sparks. He's like, dude, that dude. That was my dad, and I was like, oh, not for me. I was like, this is exactly why I had you come do this. But long story short, we got it done. Looks amazing.
That's awesome.
It came out really. I'll have to show you a picture, and I did that, and then yesterday we had Emma's birthday party, and like. For you guys who don't know me, some of you guys that do, I talk about it. Like Meg and I are the most like introverted people ever. So like having a party at our house is a big deal. That's a big step for us.
Yeah.
Even though it's just like family and stuff. Because we're like, I'd rather go pay fucking somebody like at like a bowling alley or something to do everything. But we had it at our house, and so I had like it was just all family. We didn't have like our friends over and stuff. I told her we'd do that next year. But yeah, so we had a nice little party. It was good. It was small. It was low key. Her gift didn't come in, so that was awesome. So, here's a good story. so her birthday's we did her. Dude, she got screwed. Her birthday's December 18th, so it's right next to Christmas.
Like that.
So
yeah.
So she actually turns 7 on Thursday, this upcoming Thursday. But anyway, we got her iPad's like busted, dude. You know, she's had it since she was like 4 or whatever, like just for, you know, because we're those shitty parents where we're like, if we just want a day to chill, we hand her tablet. We're those asshole parents. But anyway, dude, it's so busted up. Like, it doesn't charge anymore. So, like, I'll just get her a new one. I'll get her a new tablet. Like, she's much better with that stuff now. She doesn't go on as much. Not going to be here till, like, Wednesday. So I'm like, well, I can't not have her open anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she's been wanting these Clems. Clems is a small little, like, or a like, kind of like a Tractor Supply, family-owned Tractor Supply by me.
It's fucking
and they
awesome.
Oh, you've been to Clems?
Oh, yeah, it's awesome.
Clems is the shit, dude.
Yeah.
So the only thing that sucks, they used to have a sick fishing section. Now it blows.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that sucks. But anyways, they have these like puppets there, these like stuffed animal puppets that she's always wanted one. And Meg's like, yeah, just go grab a couple of those. They're like, I don't know, they're like $40. I was like, okay. So I grabbed 2 of them, like the big ones. I was like, sweet. Didn't have my glasses. I was like, I think that says like $45. I was like, all right, I'll eat that. I get up to the register, dude. Both of them were $95 a piece.
What?
I'm like, oh my God. I was like, and like, there's a bunch of people behind me waiting. I'm like, sweet. Guess I'm getting these.
Holy shit.
And yeah, the only cool thing is they're having a promotion that if you spend over $150, you get a free Yeti. So I got a free Yeti out of it.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, they do that once in a while. It's sick. Actually, I'm using it.
That's
I got this
awesome,
for free,
dude. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So, so she was able to open something from us. But we had a blast. My aunt got her a bunch of slime and shit, which I always tell them not to get, and I'm pretty sure she just does it to do it.
Yep.
But yeah, dude. So we had the party yesterday, and then I had my third, fourth Whatnot show.
That's awesome. That's great,
dude.
How'd it go?
So it was awesome. I ended up getting up to, I sold 75 items.
It's a fucking lot.
75
little inventory.
Dude, like I said, it's that JDM stuff, man. It's so hot right now. And I found a couple shops over in Japan that they've been shipping straight to me. Yeah, dude, it's been awesome. I had a blast. Todd was in there. I didn't catch it I was also drinking last night, Todd. So
of course,
you know what I mean. So Jackson, he's like my little behind the scenes helper, dude. He kills it. He's like handing me stuff to put up on screen and whatnot. And dude, I have a full like banquet table right now, just full of stuff that I have to pack today. And but dude, I love it, dude. It's so awesome. Fun. It's just fun to do. You know what I mean? Like, just, you have like conversations with people during the middle of it and whatnot. Whatnot and whatnot. Say, dude, but the big one last night, dude, was this Vision 110, dude. I got a bulk buy of them because I thought the color was sick myself, but it's I'm gonna try to show you guys. So it's Frozen Bloody Hasu, it's called. It's my favorite color through them right there. Limited color. They did one run, so once they're gone, they're gone. But it has those, it's tough to see, but they have like UV blood specks on the bottom, dude. These things were going on average. People were paying like $55 like on average for them last night. But yeah, dude, it's just crazy how big the JDM market is right now with these. Especially Megabass, OSP, Depths, like that stuff's just big right now. And yeah, dude, had a blast with that. We got some more stuff coming in. I'll probably do a couple like pop-up shows this week because I have a ton of like Spro stuff I'm sitting on, like try to get rid of some of that. But yeah, dude, it was fun, man. It's fun. It's like that's like my trivia. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that.
100%.
It's I just have a great time with it. Even if like people aren't buying, like just come in and conversate and whatnot. Like it's great, dude. I enjoy it. Yeah. I have a fun time doing it.
I'm curious.
Hopefully it's not like a fad. You know what I mean? It ends up fizzling out because I do enjoy it, but it doesn't seem like it, dude. I mean, I had on average, I had on average probably 30 people in there, like at all times, at least 30 people.
That's it was actually what I was going to ask. It was like, what's the turnout as far as like people looking?
Yeah, so
that's awesome.
I think it bumped up to one point. It was at like 60, and like I think I don't think it ever got below like 25. I think so. It was, yeah, it's cool, man. And like, so I mean, there's this one dude, and it's good for network. I throw out the podcast on there, every once in a while. I do my plugs, yeah, one dude bought like fucking 15 items for me. I told him like on the thing, I was like, dude, I'm going to have to send you a full FedEx truck to your house. I think he's in California. I'm like, holy shit.
That's freaking nuts, dude.
Yeah. And you get people all over the country. It's cool, man.
So from like your last like stock up for inventory and everything, what like percentage of it do you like is left or did you sell everything?
No, I didn't sell so I was trying. It's like so here's the thing, like I'm noticing like obviously the JDM stuff like sells really well, and I actually make a pretty good profit from it. The domestic stuff, I have a little bit left. I wanted to make sure I still have I don't want to get rid of everything on every show, only because I don't know when the next shipment's gotta come in. Coming from Japan, dude, like I gotta do the customs, I gotta pay the tariff and that shit. And so I try not to sell everything, in the case that like when I'm trying to do at least one show every weekend. So like I don't want to have nothing next weekend. It's just like social media, where you want to stay consistent with it.
That makes sense.
And I do giveaways, like Todd said, I do get, so it's a big thing, like to do giveaways, and everyone like it's a lot of creators on there or sellers on there give like their giveaways are trash, dude. Like they'll find like a sandwich bag full of like old Senkos and be like, here's your giveaway. You know what I mean? Yeah. Whereas like Todd said, like I gave one of these away. I gave a Spro swim bait away last, like big swim bait away. I gave a couple other Megabass stuff, and people were like, holy shit, like your giveaways are the best on this app. So that draws more people in. Definitely. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I'll eat $30 to sell 200. You know what I mean?
That's exactly it.
Yeah, you got to spend money to make it. You know what I mean? It's that old saying will always stand true. But I got some. I'm going to send you some photos. So I've been really educating myself in the Megabass culture.
Gotcha.
So for you guys that don't know, Megabass is like a culture that I like am still learning in the like aspects of like collectibles, and like I purchased some that I'm gonna flip, but 3 one-off baits that are that come in these huge, like, and I'll send you pictures of them later, Bobby, that come in these huge, like, almost like booklets, like, and they're like one of colors, you know what I mean? And people will pay stupid money for them. And trying to see what I like in the collectible. It's almost like baseball cards, you know what I mean? Like you have that one, like, ooh, that one rookie card or whatever. Exactly. It's like kind of collectible in that aspect. It really has like a cult following them really trying to learn. Yeah, dude, those like it's crazy. Like I'll put on like a Spro thing and I'll get like, you know, I'll make $1 or $2 off it. You know what I mean? But I throw that Megabass stuff up. It's just like, dude, the bidding's insane. It's like cutthroat. And especially that stuff I bring in from Japan, because you can't get it around, you know, in the US.
And it's crazy too, because like with the Megabass stuff specifically, they're smart. They do things as like one-offs. You know, where there's a limited run, and that really does drive the interest on, oh, well, you know, I mean, whether you're you know, getting it to collect, you know, or it's stuff that you're actually going to use on the water, especially if you're using it on the water and you're like, oh, I had one of those and it did great. I'm going to get more of them, you know, so that way, like when they're gone, they're not totally gone, you know? Yeah.
It's so like they, like this one, I think they made 1,000 of them, and that's it. Like, that's it. And I have like out of the 1,000, I think I have 50 of them. You know what I mean? I was
wow. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Well, dude, I saw how popular they are, and I was like, ooh, like, and trust me, I'm doing just fine with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but yeah, dude, it's like the BFS stuff is pretty hot on there, like the Griffins, those little crankbaits, and stuff like that. But yeah, it's the Vision 110s and the Pop Maxes are by far like the most popular. Like those like hard to get colors, those like non-fishing colors, as I call them, like where people are just going to literally like put them in a case or on a shelf, you know?
That's badass.
Yeah. So like between and Raid Japan's another big one that's getting popular. That's the name of the company. Really? Yeah, they're up and coming, it seems, in that like collectible market. And then like the fishable like JDM stuff is like your depths, your OSP, you know, stuff like that.
That stuff's always going to sell. Those names.
Yep. Lucky Craft. Yep. Yeah. So it was good, man. It was fun. I have a blast. Like I said, I got a ton of boxes to pack. My local, I mean, guys, I live in a small ass town. My post office is getting real fucking sick of me.
And this time of year, especially, they're like, dude, we don't the resources. So
luckily, you know, I pay like Whatnot handles all like the shipping costs and everything. I literally just have to print out the label.
Yep.
So they literally just have to scan it. That's it.
That's freaking awesome, man. So Zek chimes in here. He goes, I've never had a real Griffin, but the knockoffs are freaking fantastic. Some of the knockoffs that are out there are pretty amazing. But Zek also sent this over. See that?
Hell yeah.
That
is sick.
That is a stack of the December boxes for Dark Horse Tackle. And from what I'm told, there is a little Christmas surprise. Dare I say a
Christmas miracle of sorts.
So maybe go ahead, get yourselves a one of the December boxes over at Dark Horse Tackle. Plus, I got to do some Dark Horse shopping tonight after trivia. It's going to be my favorite. I'm going to have myself a Relax Treeworks gummy. And then I'm gonna just do a little bit of shopping on Dark Horse and stack up. Maybe I'll get a December box.
Hell yeah,
maybe I don't know. We'll see. That's all, dude. I'm glad this is working out for you, and that you like it so much. I think that's
fun.
Awesome.
You know what I mean? It's better than just like around and drinking beers. Now I stand up and drink beers.
Drink beers.
Sell stuff.
I
mean, my garage is a fucking mess right now.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
But
you know,
I'll send you a picture of the table too. Like once, because literally right after the show, I got a couple things I gotta do around the house, and then I just gotta. Meg is away. She does this thing every year where she takes the boys to this. It's kind of like a scuba diving lesson in like this giant pool down in Rhode Island. Yep. So her, the boys, and her dad do it every year. So that's what she's off to do right now. She tried to get me to do it, but I'm just not a water person. I was like, no, I'll stick around the house with Emma today.
There you go.
So me and Emma are going to be packing boxes. We're going to be living that Zek life today.
That's freaking awesome though, dude. Like, and you know, I'm waiting to see like where your area in the garage that's just like shelves with gear and stuff all of a sudden becomes a set. And you've got like, you know what I mean? Like it looks like game show and stuff. And you're like,
name that bait
or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like a studio audience now.
Yeah, dude. Yep.
Central Mass's finest hanging out. And they're all just like, yeah. You come in with a Bob Barker mic.
Mass's finest. I'm going to have to lock up all my fucking, anything of value.
Oh, definitely. 100%. Yeah, 100%. Oh my goodness. So what about, do we have a headline this week?
We do have a headline this week.
We do have a headline. Well, let's get to it.
All right. So giant largemouth breaks 20-year-old record, Bobby. And that is because 2 days after Thanksgiving, Clay Butler of San Angelo, Texas, and his pal Hunter Crossland were in Butler's 21-foot skeeter prowling the flooded timber of Mitchell County's 1,500-acre Champion Creek Reservoir on an overcast 60-degree day. It was late afternoon, and we were cruising through sunken timber looking for bass on my sonar, Butler says. And I'd caught and released an 8-pounder, Oh, that sucks. And a smaller 3-pounder earlier in the day. About 4 p.m., I marked a fish on sonar suspended a few feet off the bottom in 18 feet of water. I figured it was a big bass because heavier fish are suspended deeper than small ones. Butler says that higher suspended bass in the old reservoirs feed on little threadfin shad, while bigger bass are deeper, targeting bigger gizzard shad. Mm-hmm. The wind was blowing 20 miles per hour, and I had to maneuver the boat to make a good cast on the big fish, says the 47-year-old construction business owner. My first cast was off the mark, but my second cast was good, and I let my lure sink straight down to the fish. Butler then watched his lure sink on sonar when the roundhead 10-gram jig fitted with a 7-inch soft plastic natural colored minnow was just above the fish. He slowed the lure's descent with a spinning tackle. I could see her turn and look at the lure on sonar. I just shook my rod a bit. She rushed the jig, thumped it, and I set the hook. The bass never jumped, but Butler and Crossland knew the fish was huge. The hooked bass went up and down in the water column and around the boat for several minutes. Butler finally got the tired bass to the surface and led it into the hands of Crossland. Hunter had hurt his arm a couple days earlier and wasn't able to cast and fish, so he was just along for the ride to get outside. He had a little trouble working the landing net, but I maneuvered the bass into the open net. He held on boat side, then we hauled the fish into my skeeter. Both anglers knew it would weigh more than 10 pounds. When Butler put it on his fish scale, it showed the largemouth was over 12. We knew it was a possible lake record, and we had to get it officially weighed, said Butler, a dedicated student of bass fishing and a fan of YouTube bass videos. The store at the boat ramp was closed, so we put the fish in my boat live well, loaded the skeeter onto my trailer, and drove an hour to the town of Bronte. There's an official state-sanctioned scale at Bronte Guns and Tackle, which was open and able to weigh Butler's bass. The largemouth officially weighed 12.55 pounds with a 26.75-inch girth and length and 21.5-inch girth. All state record paperwork was filled out and delivered to the Texas Inland Fisheries Department, which has declared Butler's bass as a new Champion Creek Reservoir largemouth record holder. The lake's previous record was set in 2005 when Wendell Pinkerton caught a 26-inch long bass weighing 11.8 pounds. So good on him.
Jesus.
This bass is huge. Let me see if I can share it here, just so you guys can kind of see.
And Zach
see these around here.
He says, meanwhile, I'm over here losing my mind on a 3-pounder.
Yeah,
yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
So let's see if you see that. Yeah, it was Texas.
Oh my God, dude.
That's a big old girl right there.
That is a giant fish. Holy hell. God.
Yep.
And there's so much potential for that to go sideways. Like so badly.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Fucking Texas. Yep. Goddamn Texas.
Goddamn Texas, dude. He's like, oh, yeah, I had an 8-pounder. Like, no big deal. Like, Jesus.
I mean, like, it's one thing to break 10, but you start talking like 12.
Yeah, dude.
That's crazy, dude. Oh, good for him, man. That's awesome. Dude, that's freaking badass.
100%.
All right, guys, we're going to take a short break. We're going to come back and wrap this show up. We got our ice fishing just the tip this week. And we also have only a single call in live well, but this one's going to be a lot of fun because it's got to do with like your dream rig. And I'm interested to see how this is going to work overall. We will see you guys in a bit. Don't go too far. Much more Jigs and Bigs coming up right after this quick break.
And perhaps play a little game called Just the Tip. Just for a second, just to see how it feels. Or ouch, ouch, you're on my hair.
Okay.
Alrighty, guys, just the tip this week. And this week, you know, we can't fight it any longer. If you're up north, if you're above a specific line of latitude here, you've got some skim ice going on. And if you're a little further north than that, then you've got some significant ice conditions happening all around you. And the idea of open water fishing is becoming more and more of a pipe dream. So this week, we're talking about ice fishing both smarter and safer. So we're going to tell you all about how to stay safe, obviously, but also how to find fish and how to stop drilling holes in places that look good but fish terribly for the most part. So, number one, let's just get this out of the way. Ice safety is just not optional. It's not. If the ice isn't safe, the fishing really doesn't matter whatsoever. 4 inches of clear ice is generally what you're looking for that's safe for walking. You want to add more inches of clear ice if you're hauling gear. But let's be honest about that. You're always hauling gear here. So realistically, I would say, in my estimation, 5 inches is considered safe ice if you're hauling, anything of significance. Clear ice beats white ice every single time. Snow-covered ice can be very sketchy. And you want to avoid areas where there's moving water. Obvious ones are like river mouths, areas around bridges and culverts and current seams. That's where your ice is going to be thinner. You want to make sure to have the following items on you. Ice picks, for sure. In case you go down, you want to be able to, get a grip of that ice and hopefully pull yourself out. A spud bar. That's going to be how you're going to test the ice before you actually step over it to figure out what the thickness is like. And then a rope. If someone goes down, a rope can often be very, very helpful to help get them to safety quickly. And if you're solo, definitely make sure to tell someone where you're going every single time, no matter what. You should know that if you do hear ice cracking, it is normal. But if you see water coming up through the hole, that's your cue to get out of Dodge. Go and relocate. Now, let's talk about pre-fishing, like before you actually get out there on the water. Maps are going to find fish way before your augers are even going to touch the water. Great ice anglers, they don't guess. They read the lake. So obvious tools would be things like topo maps, apps like Navionics, Onyx, or Fishity, or the Omnia app, or even FishBrain. You're going to be able to see some details to kind of know what you're looking for. You want to look for drop-offs, humps, points, weed edges, things like that, as places to set up. These are oftentimes a lot of the same places that you're going to be looking for fish throughout the year. You also want to, recognize the fact that fish love transition. So if you can find an area that's a shallow flat, but it's next to some deep water, that's a great spot to look at. And then tight contour lines. If you see that just means it's a steep break. Wide lines, those mean they're flats. Before you drill a single hole, you should already kind of have an idea of why you're drilling there. Now, our next step, drilling with a purpose. Hey, you want to drill a line of holes that go across a break or a specific piece of structure. Check the shallow, mid-depth, and deep areas. And if there's no life, move on. Ice fishing rewards mobility, not patience. Think of it like hunting. If you're covering ground, you're basically covering ground until you find tracks. And technology can play a role here as well. Let that technology do some homework for you. You've got more scouting power in your phone than anglers had 20 years ago, and that's beyond the shadow of a doubt. Navionics, Onyx, Fishity, Omnia, all these apps out there, they can give you some depth and structure cues to kind of work off of, as well as the GPS stuff. So when you're looking for these spots on the water, you can look and mark them, and just like if you had a boat, mark that waypoint, and then this way you have an idea of where to go. The other big one too that often gets overlooked are your state DNR lake surveys. That'll tell you like what species actually live in that body of water and things like that. They can also give you a rough idea for like the typical depth, the deepest point, things like that to give you a little bit of insight. You also can reach out socially, local reports to see what's biting right now. The ice fishing community seems really, really like open with a lot of this. I think, and sometimes I want to say maybe more than the open water fishing community. And weather apps are going to help you watch barometric pressure. Falling pressure is usually going to help the bite. And if the fish if the fish don't live there, they're not biting there. It's just simple math. Time and day, weather patterns, season, not all ice is created equal. Early and late ice are like your prime time spots. Midwinter is going to slow down a little bit. You can downsize. You can fish a bit deeper. Low pressure, clouds, warming trends typically are going to equate to better bites. And late ice, well, fish move shallow again for oxygen and food, but watch out. That late season ice can be tricky. Late ice catches fish and mistakes, so be sharp. And wrapping it up for our tips here is to think multi-species when you're out there ice fishing. You don't need tunnel vision, so you can look at catching panfish in weeds or on flats in basins, oftentimes suspended. If you're trying to find walleye, you can find them around drop-offs and humps, typically around like low light windows of the day. Pike, these shallow weeds all day long. Pickerel too, same thing. Trout or salmon, don't ignore water just under the ice. They're going to be in that area, in that zone. Spread your lines, mix your depths, and let the fish tell you exactly what it is that they want. So the tip takeaway of this whole thing is this: be safe. Number one, read the map, use the data, and then move with intention. Ice fishing isn't about luck. It's about stacking small, smart decisions until the flag pops or the rod loads up. Okay, that's just the tip. Joe, do you have anything you want to add to this?
No, man, you nailed it. You got a little bit in depth than I would have. And I think it was great because I think people just a big thing people do at ice fishing is they just kind of go to a certain spot of the lake and they drill holes and they stay there all day. And I think a huge thing that you said in there is try to do that straight line over structure. So the beginning of it to the end of it. And that's something I lack on as well. You know what I mean? So I think that's an awesome tip, especially for someone who's about to who might be just getting into ice fishing. It's like I haven't given it much of a chance the last few years, and like I said, I'm gonna get out there this year. I hate the cold. So I just got to, as long as I bundle up, I'll be happy, kind of.
Yep.
But no, get out there, guys. Get out of your comfort zone. Don't just if you've never done it before, don't just go out there by yourself and wing it. Try to link up with someone you know, or even someone you don't know that has the gear, the equipment to see if it's something you enjoy, something you like, and see if you catch the bug.
I would 100% recommend, if you are interested in dabbling in ice fishing, don't just go with somebody. Go with somebody who's got some experience, and more for the safety level than the actual fishing. Cause like you can take like the stuff that I said and try to apply it while you're on the water. That's fine. But more for like, and don't try to send it by yourself until you've got a little bit of like proficiency with like getting out there and like having an idea and a comfort level with being on the ice. I think, when I was doing the homework for this, I'm like, well, that's not how I typically would ice fish ever. That's not how I've ever ice fished in my entire life. Usually it was like, okay, we'll go over here. I'm pretty sure this is pretty deep. And then we would just drill a bunch of holes and then fire up the grill. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? But if the goal really is to get on fish, then you really want to kind of have an idea. Now you probably can like get comfortable with a specific body of water and know kind of where you're going to post up based on maybe even some knowledge when you were open water fishing. If you know that structure, but it's nice to take that information. I think the biggest thing really is GPS. I think being able to like set a mark and go like, okay, I got to walk out to this spot. Here's where we are. That's where this hump is. Cool. I'm going to get there. And, set up, a series of tip ups in an area with more strategy than, oh yeah, we'll put one over there. Cause that's the thing. I think a lot of folks don't necessarily talk about the strategy. And if folks are out there doing this, I don't think they're thinking like, oh, hey, so there's this channel right here. We're going to kind of run alongside of it or cross it or however they decide they want to go and make it happen. There is technique, when it comes to catching them or when it comes to ice fishing. There really is. But for a lot of folks, this is just like they use it as an excuse to ice drink. Yeah. Be safe then too, obviously, don't get too ripped that you're making stupid decisions or, incapacitated should something happen. You got to be able to keep your wits about you and all that shit.
I've seen too many blunders on the ice, dude, like throughout my years of doing it. Especially when I was younger, just people getting absolutely shithoused. And and then they hop on like a fucking
like a snowmobile
or something, and then running over people's tip ups and shit like that. And that's
the worst.
Try to stay away from the big crowds. And you know what? I'm gonna throw this out there.
Yep.
I'm gonna throw this out there. stay away from the fucking derbies that kill fish. Fuck those people, dude.
That's shitty.
The Brookfield Lions Club Derby on Quabog. Fuck those guys, dude. It's such bullshit. That's why Quabog Lake has been absolute trash the last more trash than usual the last 10 years. It's because of that derby.
Yep.
That's all I'm going to say about it. Stay away from the Brookfield Lions Club Derby. They kill more than half the fish, big trophy fish. Fuck them, dude.
Yeah, it's like all year long, these fish are sizing up, and then they're pulled immediately from the system. So it's like, for what? To hang on a board? It's not even like it's really feeding anybody, you know? It's like, come on. It's nothing sporty about that. Nope. I will say as far as this, so Mike chimes in. He goes, Joe, if you have solid ice next week, willing to share some locations? I kind of want to make a trip if we don't get safe ice. It's kind of crazy because up in Vermont, I figured they were going to have very safe ice, and this is where some of those reports were coming from. And actually, Binya had gone out. It was like, I was hearing there were like 4 or 5 inches of ice here. He's like, he had like 2, and he's like, I'm going home. You know, I wouldn't fuck with that. There are people who will, and I mean, I guess good for you, but like I won't do it. I 100% just won't do it.
Mike, I'll keep you in the loop, pal. If I don't know much of stuff north of me, I got a ton of spots like local to me though. If you're willing to do that drive, and I think I'm going out Saturday. As of right now, I think I am. So I mean, you're always welcome to join.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a year where I kind of dabble a little bit and see what I think with ice fishing. Yeah, I'm definitely considering it. What I would really like to do is maybe take a trip up to Maine and mark 2 boxes. I want to check out Becca's camp, but I think I've never fished with Becca, ice fished with Becca, and that could just be a fucking blast. I don't know about that ice fishing, ice camping shit yet. I don't know if you're going to get me to do that. Unless I could fucking sleep in my rig, and we don't live in any of those areas where you can drive on the ice. That's the shit I want to do. Like, I want to drive out to a shanty, stay there for 2 weeks, and just fucking cook food, ice fish, fucking just make shit happen.
Yep.
It's all good. 2.5 inches is super sketch.
It's all fun until it isn't. That's right.
That's exactly right, Todd. It is. It's all fun until it's not. And John Carter chimes in here too. He says, In-Fisherman has awesome videos and tactics past and present. In-Fisherman, like for those northern anglers, that's a resource you're going to want to jump on right there. In-Fisherman's got an endless supply of information for you. As does Hooked Up Wisconsin. I mean, it's sort of, they kind of ride the same sort of like, I don't want to say strategy or anything like that, but like they get one another because they're located in the same area. Up in New England, Jigs and Biggs trip to Lake of the Woods. Oh my God, dude. Someday, I would love to do that trip, even open water. That's no bullshit. That's 100% on my radar. Like go and do something like that with the Canadian koala. Fucking A. I would also be game, and I don't know if Joe, if you would be into this, but I would also be game to do one of these like fly in to like a camp where like their lodging is there, they've got boats and everything ready for your access. You go and just fucking hammer. I would 100% be into doing one of those. I don't know that the money's there to pull it off yet. Maybe someday, but yeah, that could be fucking badass.
Yep.
In the meantime, you know, I'm going to be prepping. I'm going to be praying that we have open water at the Cape. And when my heart gets broken with that plan, then I'm going to lean heavy into ice fishing. We'll see.
Good.
We'll see what we got. All right, folks. It is time to go ahead and get into it. Let's talk.
Hi there. Welcome to the Live Well, where we crack open a ramp beer and attempt to answer all of your burning questions.
It's not the questions that are just burning. No, I'm not even going to go down that tangent. But we have a call here, just a single call this week in the Live Well, but I think it's a good one because the topic is like dream rig. And I love this. I go back and forth with a handful of folks like Nick DeShane and I talk about like the dream rig often. And I'm sure, Joe, that you have an idea on this, but I'm going to go ahead and play this. We'll go ahead and get right into it.
Hey, it's Eli. Third question for the live well. The FTG last week made me start thinking about, if money wasn't an option, what would be my ideal fishing setup for this? And I think for me, it would be Skeet Reese's truck and a souped up bass boat with some sort of camper. Now, I also want to think, and this is what my question actually is more along the lines of like a camping setup. You could have a boat, you could have a kayak. I guess that's really up in the air. But what would be your ideal setup? Because I know like Boondocks and there's a bunch of other companies that make like camping gear that can go on like trailers. Like you can do like a hammock with like an overhang thing or something like that. What is your kind of budget dream camping setup to go travel and go fish different places around the country?
So I'm going to modify this question a little bit, Joe. And Eli, I think your question is perfect, but I think it needs something else. So I want to know, Joe, your budget, just like Eli asked, but I also want to know like the big one, like the dream. Like if money wasn't an option, what is that big one? Or did he kind of? I mean, I think he kind of covered that too.
Yeah.
So go ahead and dive in. Like what's yours?
So here's where it's tough. Like obviously, I was in the camper market and having like a nice fifth wheel, like. And then, my boat, I mean, when it comes to boat, like, I feel like I have my dream boat, you know what I mean? So, but like, it's tough, like realistically, it's tough to have both a boat and a camper, because then you have to have somebody pulling one or the other. So that's a tough thing to think about. If it was just me, I mean, I love my truck. I love my boat. When it comes to like camping stuff, like I'm like, with a big ass camper, yeah, like that'd be sick. But like I'm more of like me personally, I'm more of like have the truck, the boat, and I'll get a cheap room somewhere type guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I want to have a bathroom and a shower. Because they do have the cool rigs. The like bed in the back of the bed, the truck bed. Camping rigs. Those are cool. My big thing is fucking bathroom and a shower though. But so when it comes to like budget, dude, like it's like the rig I have now, man. I mean, I think that's if I had all the money in the world, or if I had, a budget, I think I would pretty much stick with the same rig. I mean, maybe I would get a newer truck, a different truck.
Yeah. So
kind of the same thing I have, just newer version. But
all right. Just an update on that. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, and I might go with like a 3500 or something. But dude, I love my truck. I love my boat, dude.
What about the camp side of it? Like how would you modify what you have in order to be able to go and not have to rely on lodging?
Yeah. So, man, that's a great question. BLAT. He has a pretty good setup where he has that like Mercedes like camping van.
Yep.
That he tows his boat around. That's a pretty cool setup. So I would probably go with something like that. The only thing that sucks is when you go fishing in the morning, you got to break. If you have like, you got to break camp down and then go, you know what I mean? Yep. So that's the only thing that sucks in that aspect. But realistically, if I had anything, like I'd be bringing like Meg and the family with me.
Yeah.
She'd pull my boat. I'd have a fifth wheel camper, and that's how we do it.
Yeah.
That would be like my dream. That was kind of our plan. And I think we still will do that one day. But yeah, so it like getting her comfortable with pulling the trailer or with pulling the boat, and I pull the camper, and we do it that way. Go stay at a place for a week, and that would be the camping side of it. Because I've done so much like I've done so much like backwoods bullshit camping in the military and shit that as an older guy, like out of the military, I don't want to do it anymore.
Oh yeah, no, I can totally get behind that.
So like the roughing it, I don't want to rough it anymore.
Yep. No, that makes sense. I could totally I could totally understand that.
Yeah. So maybe not the answer people want to hear. This one kind of stumped me a little bit, but I guess that's the best I could do.
Oh no, I think that's good, man. I think that's great. I'm going to go down this straight road, and I'm going to actually say almost exactly what you said, Joe. My current rig with one more piece of equipment would make it the perfect, absolute just fishing, just monster, right? I have like my camp rig is very flexible because I've got a 4Runner. I can sleep in the back. Right. Yeah. So that handles that. I can haul a bunch of equipment, and my boat is really nimble. You know, that's the one nice thing about my boat. Like if the conditions are decent, right? Like really decent, I can handle really big water, you know? If the conditions get a little bit rough, it can be pretty dicey. I could, my comfort level with some spots isn't there, but I can handle much larger water than I think, than I certainly could with my kayak comfortably, you know?
Sure.
Now, so having that boat there, having my 4Runner, I already have a bunch of the camping gear that I would utilize. So I've got the ability to make a quick camp kitchen and get some things done and everything like that. I've done it where I've camped and fished multiple times. I've done it myself where I've done both, and striking camp to get out and fish isn't the worst thing. In fact, it's in some ways, depending on how you do it, like it's about gear management. The one thing that I would add would be what I would add to this rig would be an inflatable kayak, with motor and the whole nines, like the diesel, set it up, something like the Osprey from NRS, something like that. And the reason why I say that, an inflatable, is that number one, I wouldn't be putting I wouldn't be relying on this, but it would be for that really small water, like where I'm going to take that down. So probably wouldn't even use a motor, honestly. I'd probably just paddle, Yeah. And I would take that out in those really, really small instances, or even better, if I was meeting up with somebody and they were like hell bent on a kayak, float or something like that. I would use that, but I could put it on top of the 4Runner, strap it down on my roof, and then be good to go. I'd have that on top. I'd have the boat behind me. I could lug some camping gear to travel in the boat. It works. It is really like, when I chose the boat that I chose, I did it with intention so that it was very, very flexible and had the ability to change up exactly what I wanted to do. Now, with that said, I wouldn't be in a 4Runner in my absolute dream setup. Would not be in a 4Runner. I would be in like a big Tundra with a four-wheel outdoors camping shell on the back, like what Becca's got, with the top that pops up and all that jazz. Same thing. I could put the kayak on top of that. And leave it up on top of that roof. I would probably rig that with some kind of a solar so that I could run, I could charge my Jackery. I'd probably upgrade that a little bit too. I would do a built-in kitchen in this setup, but I would leave it really raw. So that way I could use it for work, during the week, just yank all my work gear out and have it like ready to go. But I would have a spot where I would have like a place where I could cook and ventilation and all that. Insulation on the walls. I would probably rig it very similar to, as far as choices, the way she's got on her setup. And I would set that up, and the boat that I would tow, it would be another Lund, but it would be a 2175 Pro V is what it would be.
Yeah.
I would, and the reason is this, and I would still put the same kayak like on the roof, but that's where I would want the motor and all that stuff for the much smaller stuff. But yeah, that 2175, I would probably take out in any fucking conditions on big water and have no issues doing it. Like on that, it's only available with a full windshield, Zach. So you're welcome to join me and not get soaked in that sucker. Full windshield. I want to say that there are 6 or 7 seats in there. This is a big fucking boat. This is a this is like a fucking guide's boat. You know what I mean? And I would lean into something like that for sure. I think that would be about the only change. Well, I say about the only, in my bougie setup, it would be a much larger boat, but a much larger like V hull. I considered the idea of doing like a Pro V bass too, and I definitely could do something like that. But I do like the idea of being able to handle like Great Lakes and shit, and also like, you know, I like the full sport windshield on a boat that size. There's still plenty of room to fish. You know what I mean? In a boat that size, you put that full windshield, that full sport windshield on a 16 or 17 foot boat like I've got, and it just eats up too much fishing space. You know, so like a side console works much better with what I'm using. Yeah, I think that would probably be it for me. I would probably do it. Like that's what I'm saying. Like a big Tundra, something like that. Big boat, the big camper right in the back. Go on in, do my thing. You know, I'd have plenty of space in that truck too, where I could keep a bunch of gear in the back. So I'd probably remove the back seats and use that as storage. You know, and just access everything that I need. So a lot of that gear would be in there. There's a reason the Lindner boys use Lund. You're goddamn right there is. That would be my dream setup.
Hell yeah.
And I'd be interested, guys, if you're listening to this this podcast and you are, if you're on Spotify, leave a comment. And I'd love to kind of figure out, like, what is your, like, budget-minded and also, like, dream setup? And I'm talking about this setup's got to be for, you know, transport, fishing, and for camping as well. Like, it handles everything. Your rig, it does everything. Tell me about that in the comments on Spotify. If you're listening on another platform, shoot us a DM on Instagram or Facebook. I'd love to hear more about this. In fact, I'm probably going to put a post together in the Jigs and Migs Facebook community group, and get some feedback from there. Like, go ahead, build it. Be crazy. I want to know, like, what you guys are thinking. This is a really good question, Eli. Let's take a look at this. So, and Zach says, dude, that gives me a great idea. I'll bring one of those riot shields. I mean, says it will both be effective and hilarious. And then Todd says 0 paragliding in 6 seconds. That's fucking great. Oh my God, man. What about a Night Rider rig with a boat semi? I mean, that just seems almost unattainable, you know? You would need, there's different licensure that you would need in order to be able to go place to place. There'd be a lot more questions.
If budget's out of the question, just hire someone to drive for you.
That's true. That's true. If budget is totally out of the question, just hire somebody. There is a yacht that Nick had sent me in this reel, and it is ridiculous what's in this yacht. Like, I want to say, like, there's a helicopter landing pad, which isn't uncommon, but there's like a submarine and then like a marina inside where like you could pull smaller vessels into the yacht.
That's so crazy.
And I'm like, that is just fucking nuts. All with the Knight Rider theme song. I can get with that. I want a bass boat with the kid voice.
You're hot. Ain't no fish in this river.
Oh my God. Oh, I love it.
Who the fuck comes to the St. Lawrence River and gets skunked?
Me. That's who. Me. Oh God. Oh, what a good show. We got anything else, Joe, that we got to cover? This was pretty goddamn solid, I would say.
I think we nailed it, man. Hopefully by next show, I get on the ice and we can have a little conversation about it.
Well, next week's show is going to be fishy no matter what, because we are going to have Bailey on the show. We're going to be talking a bit. I know he's been, I believe he actually just even recently was out on the water and did okay catching some bronze backs. So we'll be talking about all kinds of stuff there. I don't know how his hunting season went necessarily. I don't know if he bagged a deer, although I did bump into a dude at trivia that bagged 2 this season. And he's like, I'm going back out this weekend. And he's like, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do, man. He's like, my freezer's full. I'm like, you're going to have to buy another freezer or make all these Christmas gifts. You know what I mean? Like, you'll be giving away a lot of venison sausage. I found a venison recipe that I want to try so bad. It's a venison parm grinder.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, you basically cut these little steaks out and then you pound them out really flat. You make cutlets is what you do. And what's nice is like with like just like when you use like chicken breast, right? That is something where it can dry up really fast. So I'm like, that makes sense to utilize this. Yeah, a venison parm grinder. I would be so into that.
That sounds good. That sounds good.
I think it'd be badass, dude. Oh, he says he did get a deer. That's good. I'll tell you one thing we're for sure going to be talking about: snack cakes, because Bailey has discerning taste when it comes to snack cakes while hunting and fishing. So I'm all about it. I'm here for it. It's going to be a good one. And then, of course, I've got next week. You're going to see that back in the beef seat with John Hagens. That'll be on the YouTube channel. So there's all kinds of good stuff to go and check out, everybody. And we'll see you guys in 7 days of more Jigs and Bigs freaking goodness, man. And maybe just maybe I'll finally have the opportunity to sit in on the next Whatnot shopping segment with Joe and see what that's all about. Alabama hot bags on the ice. No, thank you, John.
Smoke some grass.